Before we begin today's episode, a brief reminder. While I am Dr. Kate Rodriguez, a licensed mental health therapist with a PhD, I am not your therapist, at least not in this moment. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and illustrative purposes only and does not constitute a clinical relationship. If you are struggling, please seek support with a licensed professional. Welcome back to the Overachieving Shit Show. I am Dr. Kate Rodriguez. I am a therapist, but this is not your therapy session. We are here to hear from women about burnout and all those life struggles, the bone deep exhaustion that we all have been feeling lately. So today I'm super excited because we have my friend Kristal Peterson here joining us. She went from having a master's in education as a teacher now to being a small business owner, decorator, and so many other things that you will be able to share with us.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Tell the listeners what you do now.
So I own stores. I have one store. It's a home decor store. It focuses on luxury home decor pieces, design. That one has been around for 10 years. And then I have a second store that's in Green, Texas, and it is a boutique. And we sell lots of clothes, tons and tons of clothes there. Super cute things for everybody of all different ages, more touristy. So it's a completely different kind of store. And then I also have a third business that I run a full interior design job as well. So I have 3 full-time jobs.
And a boy mom.
2 boys. Yes, and 2 boys. They're both teenagers, very active, and a husband, and 2 dogs. So all the things.
I don't even know if we could rank which one's the more stressful in that whole situation.
Probably stores.
Oh, okay. I thought for sure you were going to say husband.
He can be upset. He fights for the top, for sure. He definitely needs his attention. Yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit of what it was like to go from education to more of tapping into your artistic side? Can you tell us a little bit of what made that happen? Because our guest last week was an accountant for 20 years and then went into counseling, and it was because of burnout. And I was thinking, yours wasn't exactly burnout. Yours was a little different, right?
Yes. Yes. I wasn't burned out being a teacher. I just had a deeper calling somewhere else. I was good at being a teacher. I loved my students. I had really good scores. I was going above and beyond all the time, making all sorts of crazy lesson plans and going to training so I could be better at it and I could help them. But there was just a deeper calling. So when I had my first son, Langston, I was teaching and it was very difficult to drop him off at school while I went to school. And I cried every day and I got a little bit better at it, but it was still really hard. And then when I had my second son, Rivers, I was actually getting my master's at the time in curriculum instruction, focusing on literature. And I wanted to get a PhD so I could be a professor. But I was trying to take him to daycare and every day I was crying, sobbing, crying. And then by the time I was home from giving all my love and attention to these students, I was almost completely exhausted by the time I got to my own children. And I just felt so guilty about it. But I was already doing this furniture, refurbishing and painting and staining and
An original piece.
Yes, you do. I was like, hey, can I do something for you? I need to try something out. I have this urge to do something different.
Yeah.
And I would take pieces that people already had, or I would find stuff on this side of the road or flea markets or yard sales, and then I would repaint them and do beautiful hardware, make the interior absolutely gorgeous with like wallpaper or whatever, or I'd make custom pieces. So that kind of grew naturally. And I had a lot of people who were bringing me furniture and I was making really cool things and getting really creative, but I still had my full-time job and I still had 2 babies.
You were not working at just any school. You were working at the like DAEP campus,
Yes, the
right? And
director of education program.
so
Yes.
you were working with kids who had all like had to be sent to the disciplinary campus for a while. So this isn't exactly like a your everyday English teacher preparing for the STAR test. Fights would break out. Because I was a counselor there for a little bit at the same time, and you were super pregnant,
Huh?
teaching these teenagers that were taller than you. There were
What do you
fights
do?
that would
Yeah.
there were fights that would break out inside and outside of the classroom. It
Huh.
was a hard job, and you were very good at it. They didn't scare you.
No, not at all. They didn't scare me, but they were scary. In hindsight, yeah, I had a desk thrown at me. A student tried to stab me with a pencil on my hand. All sorts of things were happening. But I still felt as if I was probably the best option for them at the time, and I was going to try to help them as much as they could while I was there. But there was a deeper calling somewhere else, and the opportunity to be home with the boys. So I took that furniture decorating and refurbishing. I took that and I started making money from it. And then I went to Kevin, my husband, and I said, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to be home with the boys, and I can make all this furniture during their nap times and night times. And I think I can stay home. And he said, well, we can't afford it. We have a 2 income budget. And you let me look at our books. And so he came back and he said, you need to make just $1,000 a month. If you can make $1,000 a month, then you can stay home. So that weekend, I made $1,000 in 20s because people are always just bringing me 20s. And I put a stack of $1,000 in 20s on his dresser. And I said, okay, can I quit now? And so then I wrote my resignation letter and I turned it in on Monday. And then that grew from just furniture. It kind of grew into, hey, that desk is beautiful, but what kind of curtains would you add? What kind of rug should I buy? Or should I paint the walls? Or what do you think about this light fixture? So it grew naturally into design, even though I don't have a degree in design. That was just something that was very organic and natural.
And you're the kind of person that you don't just like half-ass something. Like you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to research the living shit out of it. I am going to find trainings or YouTube or anything that I can to figure out how this works. Like I remember when you started diving into the different design stuff and you're like, hey, you need to look at that Jungalow. This is totally you. This is your stuff. And I'm like, what? I have a I
You
have
do.
you're
Yeah.
you were the first person to tell me I had a palette. And I was like, I do? I have a palette? I have a
Your,
style?
your whole life has a palette. Everything is the same. It's all the same. I know exactly which bag is yours. It's like, that's hers. Mm-hmm.
I know, like even my cup, like people will be like, oh yeah, that's hers.
Totally.
But I just remember like you made
Yeah.
it so personal. Like you would talk to people and be like, I know what you would like. Like, because I think that's what was different from like I know at first you were like, I don't even have an education in this. Who's gonna hire me? Like I didn't go to school for it. But what was different about you was how you found it and made it personal. Like you get to know people and who they are, not just what colors they like or what their house already looks like and their inspiration. And I think that's what made it so natural for you.
Yeah, and I actually think doing that, creating a very detailed design that is not something that I'm just copycatting from the previous house, I think that has actually been a huge element in why I am so successful today with design. I'm incredibly grateful for the success we've had with design, with quite a long waiting list, and I am still shocked every time I have to say that and call and apologize that, hey, so maybe next January I can get
That
to
is
you, but
amazing.
but I think that people are willing to wait for that because making a home beautiful is easy, but making a home tell a story while still keeping its beauty and integrity is a completely different level of design. I think I'm able to do that for people. And I've just been really lucky that it's worked out so far.
Okay, do you ever get so burnt out? I have too much education to be moving this furniture. Why am I doing this?
Yes, I get burned out a lot. I've gotten better at navigating the burnout, but yeah, Christmas is absolutely exhausting. I'm on a ladder. We call it ladder season. I am on a ladder doing Christmas trees for months. It feels like it actually is months, but it's exhausting. Yes. And I want to just run away. And I've actually learned that if I can run away, I can build my battery back. So that's
That's
why
why we're both always planning vacation.
huh? I'm like, where can I go that there's no signal? Uh-huh. Because I don't want anyone to be able to find me. I need it. And my best burnout tools are nature or nature based. So if I
Mm.
can even just go sit outside for an hour with like nothing, just me and the dogs or a snack or whatever, that helps me. But when I'm really, really struggling after Christmas, a big vacation is super needed. So that way I can continue for the next year. Otherwise, the whole thing could fall apart. So,
Yeah, and disconnecting is hard. And yeah, I asked that because I think that sometimes from what I've heard with different women who pivot from what they did their education in or started their career as, when they change, it's such a big change that people act like it's like you're making a death sentence, like you're giving up what you just studied for and what you
yes.
worked towards to like take a big chance. But the way you say it, it was survival.
Yeah. Yep.
So it totally sounds like it was more of a, right? Is that how you would say it? Like a survival pivot?
Yeah. I had to. I had to do it. My heart was with my sons and in creating beautiful things. I loved the students and I loved the classroom, but my love for creating beautiful things was just so much more natural that it was because I never intended to be a teacher. I just kind of kept following that path with literature and academia, but I have always loved making pretty things and making spaces pretty. Always.
Faces. You will even do makeup for your
Yeah.
friends if they need
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I'm like, come over here. Yes, let me add some blush in. Let me
Like
fix
for
your
my wedding, you did my wedding makeup.
I did. That was fun. That was a fun palette, all gold. I liked it.
Yeah, I remember when I bought that wedding dress, everyone was like, "You bought a wedding dress for $200. What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "But it's gold and sparkly."
Yes, and it still was gorgeous. Only you could pull that off though.
So when it comes to uh, family, you brought up family and how was a pivot. Now it's turned into a whole family business. And so was making that pivot tough?
Um, I was ready for Kevin to join Currents. I convinced him to quit his regular job and join me because I knew that I wouldn't be able to make the growth that I could foresee was coming without a really strong partner. And so it is hard. It is a very hard job to work with your husband every day. It is very challenging, but it's also very rewarding in the fact that no matter what happens, that other business partner is 100% tied to you for the rest of his life. So the decision that he's going to make is going to be in my best interest, no matter what, even if it's something that I don't like or I don't want, or I am advocating or lobbying for something else. I know that no matter what, he's really stuck with me. So he has to make he has to make the right decision. It's not the best for my partner, it's the best for
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I like the way, because y'all are totally different ways of thinking. And it's like you're the director of the vision and the creativity, and he's th- like, hold on, we need to pay our fucking taxes, Crystal.
yes, always, always paying things. Yes.
And
Yes.
it sounds like y'all have divided up. What I admire about y'all working together is y'all really acknowledge the other one's strengths. He knows he can never do your job. And you're like, if I did do the job that he's doing, I would be dead from burnout
Yeah. You'd
and
probably
stress.
be poor.
Yeah. You're like, I might be able to pull it off, but yeah, we'll be poor. No vacations would happen.
I would have paid the wrong person the wrong amount or too much or not paid it on time and now we're in trouble. I'm not good at numbers at all.
And so has it been hard? Because I know one struggle I hear constantly with small business owners and me as well is you're like, yay, I'm going to work for myself because of this flexibility. But then you trade 9 to 5 to like 24/7.
Constant. Yes.
And
Yes.
so, but then at the same time, you would never go back.
Yeah. I'm unemployable now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you would never be able to go back to working like a 9 to 5 or like a,
100%.
like,
I'd probably be fired immediately or have to quit. I don't think that I could. I know I can't work for anybody else at this point. I just can't. I've had too much autonomy. I've been through too much. I have made it through so many crises at this point. I know I've done things that I've had to do because I mean there was COVID where we were shut down. We also had a bridge closure at one point. We've made it through so many different crazy once in a lifetime things. I just know that I wouldn't be able to sit there and listen to someone else telling me how I should do my job or watch somebody else make a whole bunch of decisions knowing that I can probably make them better.
yeah. No, I like it.
Maybe
That's a
I'm
real,
too confident. Maybe I can be better.
no such thing. Because you are confident in these things. I think that so many women uh often don't speak to the things that they're confident in because we're all raised to like be humble, don't brag. There was this whole phenomenon where everyone was like, "Oh, I'm a girl boss and lady boss and blah blah blah," and it almost can kind of cringy at certain points. And hearing that people promoting themselves, and we need to promote ourselves, but I know for both of us, it's an awkward area because you need to tell people what you're good at, but at the same time, you're scared to come across as arrogant or snobby or something, and it's a constant struggle, right?
Yes, it is. It's absolutely a strange gray area that we live in. Because we do need to be confident, and I do need to make sure that people know I'm good at this. I got this. Don't worry. You know, you can trust me. I'll make your home beautiful, or you can trust me in your stores. I'm going to bring you the best stuff. Yes, that lamp is gorgeous. You should buy it. It's fantastic. Like, I will, I have to be confident because otherwise the whole thing falls apart. But there is the element of how to still be a lady and not be overbearing and not be obnoxious at the same time, right? So it's this whole thing, and I think I just have I don't know. I think I just had to just get over it. Like just get over it because if a man was really good at something, he would not mind telling the world that he was fantastic at it. And so I just need to be as confident as the guy next to me and say, "Yeah, I'm just as good. I may have a different style, but I'm just as good."
Heard people say sometimes women need the confidence of a mediocre white man.
Yes.
And there is a lot to that because oftentimes women who speak up and are confident, we get criticized.
Yeah. I think that if you're going to speak up and you're going to be confident, be ready to back yourself up immediately. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm good at this. Oh, I'm good at this," or "I'm an entrepreneur." Okay, cool. Okay. Don't You can come out and say those things, but be ready to back them up immediately. Like say, "Yeah, I have 2 stores and I have another business." Yes. Then everyone's like, "Oh, got it. Yes, she does know what staffing means.
Yeah.
She does know what payroll is and payroll taxes. Like she does know what it means to argue with an import company over shipping on pallets. There's a million things that you have to be ready for if you're going to be confident. So if you're scared to be confident and put yourself out of there, just prep yourself. Prep
Yeah,
yourself to be ready.
absolutely. I think you're totally right. And it must be tough. So you're in New Braunfels,
Hmm.
right? But you're from a smaller town. You're from Lytle, right? So, but where you are, people see you're very active on social media for currents, and people probably see you just all dressed cute and your hair done, and
Yeah.
when you're doing this stuff for work. And do they often think like, "Oh, Kristal, you have it all together. Look at you."
Yes.
Do you feel
Yes.
like there's a little bit of a shit show behind it though sometimes?
Oh, the whole, yes. There is not, nothing is perfect. Even though people only see the things that we put out into social media, that's intentional, which is why I feel like to some point social media is so unhealthy. If you are the kind of person who is already feeling down about yourself or feeling uncomfortable or self-conscious, get off of social media because you're only seeing the best, the highlights of someone's life. You're not seeing that, that I didn't have any bread for sandwiches yesterday. Like there's so many things, there's so many different balls that are going to drop, and nobody sees all of those things. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. Like it made me feel so good one day when 'cause we went to y'all's house and my husband and I were in the kitchen. We're like, I told him, I said, how come I can never get our house to look this clean and this put together? And one of your sons was around the corner. I believe it was Langston. And he said, oh, you should have seen him before you got here. It was crazy while they were trying to clean. They were both
yes,
yelling at each other. And I was like, okay, well, that made me feel better.
yes, no, there is the flight of the bumblebee going on before anybody. Yeah, pick up those socks, pick up those underwear. Why is our tennis racket on the dining table? Like it's constant. It's absolutely constant.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a juggle. It's figuring out. You can't carry all the balls. One is going to drop. So you've got to just figure out which ones are you going to let fall that day. And that's okay. Like maybe I didn't make dinner. I didn't spend 3 hours on a recipe with organic ingredients and I braised the beef or whatever bullshit. We went to Whataburger. And you know what? I was able to go to tennis and I got my homework done and Rivers is ready for his test tomorrow and the laundry is clean and the stores are staffed and everybody's good. Like you
And
can't
I will say I have known your husband since the 90s and I don't think that man will ever get tired of Whataburger.
never, never. Yes.
So like sometimes I think it's the pressure that we put on ourselves as moms and not it's like they're okay. They're
Mhm.
fed. And sometimes we have to let go of that, right?
It doesn't have to be the perfect meal. It's not their last dinner. It's not their last meal. Like it's okay. It doesn't need to be picture perfect every time. Maybe if you have, a couple hours on a Sunday and you make something nice, good for you. You created something and hopefully they appreciate it. They probably won't. But there is no reason, there's no reason to try to do it every day. It's okay. It's for you. You put the pressure on yourself. You decide what is the most important, which balls are going to drop and which ones you're going to still carry no matter what. And those are my sons. The sons are I will always carry them. But the house and my car being clean or my clothes being starched or whatever it is, like it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, that was actually one of the questions I wanted to ask you is what kind of things that you sort of have let go of being perfect. So I'm glad that you listed those because I think so many people, when they see, especially business owners who are, with the social media and everything, it's like, gosh, she looks like she has everything together. And it's like, no, let me tell you.
No, I
Let me,
don't. No, the reason that I'm able to I've built in free time for myself. The way I've built it in is by being extra diligent on all of my planning. So once a month, I spend 2 days making a month calendar for the next month with all of my staff. And that way I know I have staff at all of my locations, that all of my design projects are okay. I have all of my deliveries. I know I have staff there. I have a trailer ready. I have men that are ready to put that where it needs to go, into what storage unit at what time, or take it to a property. And then I have all of the boys' events on top of that, on top of regular family or going to see friends. So if I build a crazy 1 month schedule, then I have built in pockets of free time for myself. That's another area that I had to give up. I can't be everywhere every day. And I have to give that up because, yeah, I would rather be there for every custom flower arrangement, every wreath, every customer in green who's looking for the perfect concert outfit. I wish I could be there for all of those things and help them get everything perfect, but I can't. And so I just staff people that I trust and know can do it and then train them to be me while I'm gone.
that's really cool. That's also cool that so many people go over there for y'all's advice on what to wear to concerts in New
Oh,
Braunfels.
They're so cute too. And because some people also don't know their seasons or what looks good on them. And so I train all my staff to know when someone comes in with maybe my palette or your palette, oh, they're a deep autumn. Okay, let me range them towards the colors that look good on them. Also study their body, let them know if they have a short torso, long torso, and then that way they can see like what looks better on them and then guide them to things that are pretty that they'll feel confident in.
No, that's awesome. So, okay, so give me one of your most overachieving shit show moments. Like you were doing something big, but still behind the scenes, like total, absolute shit show. I don't know if your husband ever looks at you the way Mike looks at me, like, how does she get so much done, but total, absolute mess?
That's probably every day. I think every day. Literally yesterday I came home and I had it in my mind that I was going to purge my entire closet and color coordinate it. But I also had 3 design projects that I was working on and about 7 different deliveries and about 7 different maybe 7, maybe more staff questions and requests for schedule changes or whatever it is. And so I was able to do my whole closet, pulled it all out, purged everything, color coordinated, pick up the boys, took them to practice, stayed at practice, worked on my laptop the whole time during practice, and then called my 3 different design clients, made sure I answered their questions. I called the import companies to see where those 2 chairs were that I ordered in January. I did all of that. I picked up dinner. I did not make dinner. I picked up dinner, went home, and this was all within maybe 3.5, 4 hours, accomplished all of that. And then, oh, I also scheduled 2 social media posts and made 2 reels while I was sitting in my car as well.
I get done at practices.
Practice is like a safe space. Like
Yeah.
I can sit there in that car and knock stuff out. Came home and well, Kevin had just sat on the couch the whole time watching and watching people make brisket on Instagram.
I don't know why they like that. But yeah, no, I mean, that's amazing. But I bet after like a day and moments like that, do you get major decision fatigue?
Yes.
Like I had never really experienced that, I think, until COVID, when it was like so many decisions. Like, what are we going to teach the kids while they're out of school? How do I keep the business open? Should I go virtual? Should I do this? What do I do for social media? What do we eat? And it was just something so simple, like,
Mm-hmm.
what should we eat? Which I've never been one of those, like, oh, I don't care, wherever. Like, I always am like, we should go here, or I'm not one of those, right? But during COVID, I was, because it was too many decisions. And I think small business time too, like you can get to that decision fatigue where you're like, I don't want to make one more. If one more person asks me a question, I'm done for today.
It happens a lot. So I just tap out. I just hide. I just hide. Because I can, if I'm in the store, I can get asked an obscene amount of questions, which I don't mind because a lot of them are integral or imperative to continuing the day and making it a success. But some of them are things I've already discussed, already taught, already gone over. Sometimes people also speak in questions. And that's really hard because you're like, do I answer? Do you know it? And like, it's like, those are,
You're dealing with so many different communication.
yes.
Oh, that is tough.
Because all the staff are all different and then customers come in and they're totally different and then design clients they are looking to me for their guidance, so those questions are top priority because they're paying for those answers and I want to make sure they're comfortable all the time. And then there's the husband questions, which are always hard ones because they're always important and money based, which I hate money and talking about any of those things. So those ones are really hard. Yeah, I just hide. I hide. I read. Read will turn off my brain.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So do you have a hiding space? My mom says that she used to hide in the pantry. And she would just like sit there with cookies and like nobody would look for her. And I was like, man, I wish my pantry was big enough. But do you
My
have a
pan-
space?
my pantry is a shit show. That is the worst place in the whole house. There is so much stuff in there, all over. I don't know what happened. I swear it was organized at one point, and
Like every time I've seen it, it was organized.
it's
No?
right now. It's I couldn't even stand in it. There's so much stuff in there. I don't even know what's in there.
Well, when you have teenage boys, I can't
It's
imagine.
and Kevin. Yeah, they're all just destroys it all. I think my room is probably my place where like once I get everything done for the day that needs to be done, if I can sit there on my bed in my soft pajamas with my face washed, in a hot tea and either watch Murder She Wrote or read a novel about murder. I can take a deep breath there. I know, okay, the day's over. I can reset. I can give myself a couple hours. These are mine.
Yeah.
I'm okay now.
No, that's awesome. I love that because it really seems like you need to just be able to just zone out for a little bit.
Yes.
So
Yes.
good that you have a place. Well, Kristal, so on your level of burnout, do you feel like you found your groove? Or at least being able to recognize when it's approaching?
Gosh, I feel like I think I do. And then things happen in the world, to the stores and transactions are down or sales are down, or I have a very difficult design job that I didn't anticipate being so difficult. And I have a lot of stress that I'm carrying with that. Um, I think I have it all together and then the world changes and I've got to pivot again and readjust. It's okay ish.
So the stress kind of comes in some of the big pivots. Because, yeah, you have your couple months planned out, like you said, and then bam, tariffs.
Oh, yes. That was huge. Tariffs are horrible. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, ready to move on from tariffs. But yeah, they do. They come with the big pivots and our world keeps changing. And especially our country keeps changing constantly. If we could just have some calm and peace, that'd be fantastic. That way I wouldn't be having to make these terrifying decisions all the time and then possibly making the wrong one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It makes sense. So you're starting to take care of yourself though, and at least using some of those coping skills of letting go of perfectionism. Because I know you were a perfectionism you are
I'm
in your design, but you're letting go in certain places. So that sounds good.
I can't be perfect everywhere. And it's okay. I can't be perfect everywhere. But the
Yeah.
ones that I'm keeping priority, I'll still do my best to be perfect in those moments. Um, as
You can
perfect
be a
as I
mess. It's like you're a mess and a masterpiece together. It's fun.
I
Keeps it
hot
interesting.
mess. Hot mess. Hot mess.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here. And definitely, if anyone's in New Braunfels, look up Currents and go see what she's been talking about this whole time. But yes, thank you for being a fellow overachieving shit show because I do feel that you're right there with me.
Yes, I get it.
Again.
Get it.
Well, keep keep with the balance, and at least your hair isn't corpus hair right now, so take your wins where you get it.
I had it done this morning for you. Otherwise, it would be all gray and dirty. So this is all a facade. This was done by someone else today.
Well, thank you. Mine looked okay when I left the house and walked outside and it went poof.
Your
So
humidity.
yeah, well, anyways, all right, well, thank you so much, Kristal. I appreciate it.
Bye.